Hey guys, it's Olivia, and today is 1 year since I had hip surgery. Hey guys, that little clip you just saw was actually from the day of my hip surgery, like the day of a year after, so July 26, 2019. I tried to film this video then. It's now August 13th, but after looking back at like the footage, it was just me rambling and being like so unorganized, like not really knowing what to talk about, and just kind of being like in the moment being like, wow, like it's been a year, but like I didn't really give an objective explanation of what it'd really been like. So I'm gonna try again now, and I'm gonna try and explain better in like certain criteria of what it's been like a year later. But also, this is on my phone. I usually film on like an actual camera, but I lost the charger for the battery, and I lost my extra battery. And I had an extra charger and I lost that too. So yeah, and I don't have access to our Amazon Prime account. So I have to wait until my parents help me order new ones. Like I would use my money, anyway, whole nother story. But it has been over a year since my hip surgery. So if you don't know, if you haven't been here, I had an FAI surgery, femoroacetabular impingement. So I had, your hip bone, like your femur looks like this. It's round and then it's skinny and then it's bone. And then your hip joint is like that above it. This didn't get as skinny. And in this part, there's a lining. It's called the labrum. Essentially like a cartilage-like tissue. And mine had torn, partially from this, partially just from wear and tear. And so as I moved my hip, it was flipping and grinding bones and stuff, and it was just overall very painful. Like this part was catching on the side of the socket. It was not a great time. I had those symptoms for about 2 years before my surgery, like intense symptoms. I had like minor symptoms before that I just chalked up to like being a dancer, because that's the other thing. I'm a dancer. I do ballet and modern mostly. So yeah, that's my story. It was partially growing up being a dancer, partially genetics that I needed this surgery. I've had family members who've had the same issue in the past. But so yeah, I had my surgery done at a hospital for special surgery, and here I am a year later. So I was on crutches for, in the end, about 2 months. It was a month of full, like both crutches, like all the time, or like a month and a half. And then I weaned off to one crutch, and then crutches only at school, and then one crutch only at school. As I explain this timeline, I'll then go into my issues with it. I was not cleared for dance again until February 11th, which was over 6 months after my surgery. My issue with this is that when I was given a timeline pre-op, it didn't look like this. I've talked about this a few times before. Nothing went wrong with my surgery. I healed perfectly. Like I didn't have any complications, nothing went wrong. I wasn't taking slower to heal. If anything, like I'm a better candidate because I'm younger. Like my body's going to repair itself faster. Like there shouldn't be an issue with that. Like all my like plastic things that they put in there that are essentially like big sutures, like those were fine. They were healing over, whatever. My incisions were fine. I didn't have an infection. I didn't have to like, they didn't reopen, nothing like that. Like it was literally all okay. But I was on crutches for about 2 months. Originally they told me it would be a month. So at the end of August, like my family planned a vacation for me to go on, like for us all to go on to the beach or whatever. And I couldn't do anything because I was still on crutches, even though they told me I wouldn't be on crutches by then. And then I was told that I'd be able to return to dance 3 months after my surgery, which would have been in November. And I did not return to dance until February. So there were some issues there too. I had planned things, like I'd planned my surgery around being able to dance in November because I'm in a dance company at my school that starts in November. So I was like, oh, I'll be able to start dancing as that dance company starts. But no, instead I sat out for 4 months of it, which was miserable, quite frankly. So yeah, that was a lot. But so I'm kind of mad about that. To be fair, I will say that on the topic of that, I should have done more research. Like my parents and I were very overwhelmed. We started out at a small orthopedist here who misdiagnosed me, and then he recommended us to hospital for special surgery, this big place with these like famous doctors who do surgery on all of these celebrities and athletes and whatever. So like you're like, wow, like they must know what they're doing. This is so great, blah, blah, blah. and we just blindly dove right in, and we didn't do any research of our own. I didn't even know it was called an FAI surgery until like after the surgery, I think. No, I think I used it in the vlog, maybe like a month before the surgery. I don't know. It was just like, we messed up on that part, because had I done more research, I probably would have found out that no one really gets off crutches a month after. No one really, you know, returns to sport 3 months after. Like, it is a lot longer, and they just don't tell you that. Because like, I think it was just that, like, he was like, no, just do it. Like, he wanted me to do the surgery, because yes, I needed the surgery, but he was like, you know, like, you can do it, whatever. And it's not that I wouldn't have had the surgery. Like, I was in so much pain that I would have had it anyway. I would have just scheduled it differently, you know? Because I also didn't want to be on crutches during school, and I was, and that was miserable. So, I don't know. With the return to sport aspect of it, in February I was cleared for dance. I began dancing in my dance company during school. We have dance every day during school, and then rehearsals after school and on weekends. So I was doing that. I slowly ramped up. I didn't jump into anything immediately. Didn't jump into anything head first, but then I started taking classes again at my dance studio outside of school. So since my return to sport, I've only done ballet classes outside of school. So like, in school we do a lot of modern contemporary mixed with whatever, but outside of school I've only taken ballet classes. My physical therapist, who I've now known for over a year, and I decided that that would be best, because in ballet, like, everything has a place. You're holding everything. You know where that leg is gonna go. Like you know what muscles are needed for every little thing. Like, it's so easy to predict, like, what could happen, what could go wrong, what things will aggravate it, what won't. But modern and contemporary is much more creative. You know, if you do some improv and you move something the wrong way and you're like, oh, dang it. What was that? If you're like, oh, dang, like, I just messed that thing up. Like, it's a lot more fluid and not as structured. So we decided I needed the structure to ensure that, like, I would be able to tell which things I could and couldn't do before having to do them. But I do plan to take modern and contemporary again this upcoming year. I miss it. It's fun, it's creative, it's, you know, it's very different. I love ballet, but modern is very different. And then I used to be on point. I was on point from age 11 to, I guess, age 15, and then my hip happened, and I haven't been on point in a class since November of 2017. But I got new point shoes, and I am doing like ankle strengthening exercises so I can go back on point, which I'm really excited about. I definitely miss it. It hurts, but I miss it. But yeah, I would say overall, this process was a lot different than I expected. I was in bed for a month, like, couldn't do anything for a month. It was weird because once I wasn't on crutches, but I still, like, had to leave early from my classes because I couldn't, like, walk as fast, and, like, I was, like, very bad at, like, balance, and, like, if someone knocked me over, like, I could fall and tear something again, and, like, all this stuff. But I don't know, it just feels weird to be a year out of it because I'm still not where I was beforehand. Like, my body is very different. But to be fair, beforehand was over 2 years ago. So it's like this weird experience to be like, well, it's not where I was before my surgery, because before my surgery I hadn't danced for a year. Where was I 2 years ago before I had to stop dancing? I don't know. It's just this weird figuring out, like, what my expectations are. But yeah, I'm still in physical therapy. I now go for my ankle instead of, or like my ankle and my big toe. Hi, Bailey. You wanna come here? Say hi. Say hi. Cute. I'm now going for ankle and point reasons, not for hip reasons so much. But yeah, I think that's it. This is my life a year post-op. I still do get some pain sometimes, because to be fair, my other hip still has the problem. It just wasn't surgically treated. and they're hoping it would kind of like desymptomize itself, and it has more or less. But I still get some pops and some clicks and some weird feelings. But it is what it is. Like, I used to not be able to, and I still get some aches, but I used to not be able to go a full day without having extreme hip pain. So this is definitely better. I would never go through it again. Like, if something went wrong and my hip, my labrum retore and my bone regrew or whatever, I wouldn't do it again. The process was really damaging to me emotionally, physically. Like, I would not do it again. I would rather live with the pain. But having had gone through it, not knowing what to expect and being on the other side, I appreciate not having pain now. But I wouldn't do it again knowing what it's like. Yeah. But it is different for everyone. So you might have this experience and you might not be someone whose like main interest is something where you need to move like a crazy person, you know, like, or you might have a doctor who does the recovery differently, whatever. I think that is very dependent on everyone. But for me personally, with the experience I had, I would not do it again for my other hip. I would not do it again for this hip. Yeah. Well, okay, I think that's it. If you have any questions about FAIs, what's cool is that a lot of people have like commented on it, like on my videos, and like asked for advice, like shared their stories with it, and it's been really cool to like realize how many people have actually gone through this, because it, like, if you say, oh, I had an FAI surgery, like, no one knows what that is. Like, even like my crazy dance teachers who've been through every painful experience ever don't know who that is, or don't know what that is. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, leave them down below. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.
Never been easy.